Welcome to this new topic, removal of anti-dumping duty on viscose staple fiber. What is this anti-dumping duty? What is viscose staple? We will see those topics. And it was recent in the news as Southern India Mills Association has asked to remove anti-dumping duty. So what is the issue behind it? What is anti-dumping duty? Let us see. So first we will see what is viscose fiber. So the issue is in the current affair is like when a company imports resource in the market and that resource is when compared with the market, so the price of that resource is, let us suppose, 10 rupees. Okay, and they our importer will import this resource and make a final good. Okay, so the price of that final good will become rupees 20. Now let us suppose one another scenario where our importer will directly import this final good, that is your prepared good. Like this time they are not importing wood for constructing of a pencil. Okay, this time here they were importing wood for manufacturing of a pencil. So when they manufacture pencil, after importing the wood, the cost of the pencil become rupees 20, and the issue was that the resource price was higher because of this anti-dumping duty. So what is anti-dumping duty? I will explain it later. Okay, now when the same merchant is importing a final good or final product, that is pencil, directly from the foreign countries, they are getting price of that final pencil product is rupees 10. So what they are telling, now if you will not remove the anti-dumping duty on the resource part, then we will directly import the final good, because the price of that final good is less than whatever we are manufacturing because of your anti-dumping duty. Okay, and if our country will move this for this concept, then issue is like our make in India concept will be hamper. Okay, so self-reliable concept will hamper, will be hinder. Okay, so this is the major issue that I have given you the overview. So let us see what is it. So what is viscose fiber? So it is the now whatever I have explained is with respect to a wood and pencil, like that. The issue occurred with this textile industry, so the viscose fiber. So it is the raw material from which yarn is made. Okay, yarn is made. So take it as a thread. Let us suppose it is as a thread. Now when they import this thread, they will get, like, suppose 5% import duty on it and anti-dumping duty on it. Okay, so what is anti-dumping duty? Anti-dumping duty is that duty when that price of that commodity in the domestic market is higher. To protect the interest of those domestic merchants, government impose the tax on the importer, so that the competition of that product will become weak in the domestic market with the domestic product. Like suppose they are importing here, like they are importing yarn here. Okay, they are importing yarn. So in that yarn, if there is some domestic merchant, okay, so they are getting cost of rupees 10. Okay, and when that yarn is imported from another foreign countries, the cost of that yarn is rupees 2. So here this is a huge difference of rupees 8. So what will happen if this product, if these products come in the market, it will impact our domestic merchant. So what government do? Government will impose anti-dumping duty on it. Okay, anti-dumping duty on it. So why do, like suppose 80% anti-dumping duty, or like 90% anti-dumping duty, or 100% anti-dumping duty, so or 200% anti-dumping duty, whatever, like anti-dumping, like the main motive of the government is to make it more less competitive with the domestic market. So this is rupees less, for I have to, if I have to increase with rupees 10, I have to make 300 for 400%, but it is not the scenario. So government will make impose anti-dumping duty on it, and the price of that yarn will become rupees 12 or rupees 11 or rupees 10 minimum. Okay, this is the concept of anti-dumping duty. I will discuss again in the lecture. So it is because viscose fiber which is available in the domestic market is expensive than the international product. So to protect the domestic interest, we have anti-dumping duty. So, and viscose yarn, take it as a cloth. So if you are taking viscose yarn, so it is something like it is a cloth, it is not a thread. Okay, so it is talking about the cloth only here. So the 5%, and in this yarn there is only 5% here. So the industries are saying, if you will impose anti-dumping duty, then we will directly import those yarn only. Okay, because in that importing of the thread, we have to pay anti-dumping duty on it. Okay, so the viscose fiber is that they are artificially cotton fibers that are natural and biodegradable. They are obtained from wood pulp and cotton pulp, which share the characteristics of both cotton and fibers. Cotton fibers that share the characteristics of both cotton and fibers. So cotton fibers only, and they are also bendable fiber that we can bend, like it has the characteristics of wood and cotton also. So they are bendable fibers which have a wide range of application in apparels of home textiles, home furnishing, dress materials, and woven knitwear. Recent increase in demand for textile and apparels is expected to increase the demand for viscose stable fiber. So this is the information regarding this viscose fiber. Okay, so what is the situation right now? What is the background for it? Why is it in the news? So at present, industries are saying that they will directly buy the viscose yarn from the international market to save anti-dumping duty, because when they import the thread, they have to pay, let us suppose that 5% tax plus anti-dumping duty. Okay, so this is the situation. So this will lead to inverted duty structure. So what is inverted duty structure? We will see also. Okay, so let us suppose India bought solar cells from China. Okay, now in these solar panels, different components are required. One will be a photovoltaic cell, is different to manufacture, so it is important from China. So there is another option for manufacturing also. If we directly import that solar panel, whole final product, if we import the solar panel, there is another chance. So there is another option to manufacture if we import only the resources required to build the cell, rather than importing a raw materials as they are expensive. So they will directly buy the finished good with the less tax. Okay, I think you are understanding it better now. Like, they are not importing the resources, because in that importing of the resources they have to pay anti-dumping duty. To overcome this, they are saying that now we will import directly finished goods. Okay, this is called as inverted duty structure, and when the import of finished goods is cheaper, then the raw material is called inverted duty structure. Understand that when you were importing the resource, the price was higher, and when you are importing the final good, the price is lower. This is known as inverted duty structure, and it is not like because it destroys the and it is like it is not good for us because it destroys our make in India or manufacturing industry and will hit our economy also. So GDP will decrease and all. So now industries is asking to remove this inverted duty structure by removing the anti-dumping duty. So if you remove the anti-dumping duty, then they will be able to set up their manufacturing industry or make it able to run, and so that our make in India will also be success. Okay, because they will earn more profit if they import directly resources from it. and if there is that import anti-dumping duty will be levied from it. Okay, so I have explained what is anti-dumping duty. So it is a measure taken to reduce the distortive effects of dumping, and dumping is said to occur when a company exports goods at a price that is lower than what is would normally charge in its home market. Yeah, one thing I forgot to say, I was continuously saying domestic market price, that when the price of that import price is lesser than the domestic market price. Don't call domestic market price, every time call normal charge. Okay, normal charge. When you are writing the definition of anti-dumping duty, write like dumping is said to have when a company exports good price at a price which is lower than what will be in the normal charge of that product. Okay, normal charge means the domestic price. So it is considered as unfair trade practice at risk and distortive effects on a global trade. Okay, so what is different now? We will see. You have understand the anti-dumping duty, but with respect to your exams on all government exams, we have to compare anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty. So what is anti-dumping duty and what is countervailing duty? Okay, so I have explained what is anti-dumping duty, that when the goods are exported by the foreign countries at lower than the domestic price, that is domestic price is nothing but your normal value, will be called as dumping. Then anti-dumping duty is levied on it, will be compete with the domestic market. So then anti-dumping duty is levied on it as to compete that product with our domestic market, otherwise our domestic market will run out. If the domestic price is not available, then it will be compared with the third country. Now let us suppose one scenario, a IoT based device is being imported in our country. Okay, now we have to calculate its domestic price, like what are the prices of IoT devices in our country, so that we will compare and our domestic manufacturer will revive. But the issue is like, let us suppose in our country there is no any company, that there is no any such companies present. I'm not saying that it is true, but let us suppose that there is no any such companies present that is manufacturing IoT based devices. So now how will you compare it? How will you compare that price, that whether we have to levy whether we have to impose anti-dumping duty on it or not? Then in this case we will compare the price with the third country to calculate their domestic price. Like we will say the another country like Australia, so what is their domestic price of manufacturing of that IoT device in that country, and then we will consider that domestic price with our country, that we will think that okay, this domestic price, like if this product will be manufactured in India, then we will have that X price of that product. So they will use third country domestic price to compare it. And even if let us suppose it is a completely new product, that nowhere in you are finding that IoT device nearest to your currencies or nearest to your economic level, then how will you calculate the domestic price? In that scenario, that even if third country is not, then in that scenario then estimate will be prepared, that an estimate will be prepared that if that product will be manufactured in India, then what will be the cost. So how that it will be calculated? It will be calculated by reducing your raw material price from your input price, that whatever you are imposing the price in it, minus the product of that raw material, that whatever you have input in that price minus the product of the raw material, and plus profit. Okay, whatever the profit you want to earn. So this total price what we will get, that will be an estimated price. Then this will be act as your domestic price for that product. So these are the three ways to calculate anti-dumping price. So currently China has lost the advantage of labor cost, so it is expensive in China. This is just one part I noted. No, it is not relevant to this topic. Okay, so three things you have to compare, like how is this anti-dumping cost is calculated? It is calculated by the comparing with our domestic price. Okay, if our domestic price is expensive, then the foreign product, then anti-dumping duty is imposed. Let us suppose one scenario where that one product is importing which is not getting manufactured in our country, then we will compare that product with the third country. Okay, and if suppose there is such product is being imported which is not present anywhere in the country, that will be compared with our economy. So in that scenario, if we are unable to find any third country to compare that domestic price, then we will prepare an estimate. An estimate will be like, if we have whatever the input price we are getting, we will reduce the raw material price being imported or whatever we are giving, and then we will add the profit that the company want to earn, and that will be created as an estimate, and on that basis they will decide whether the anti-dumping duty will be imposed or not, and what amount of the anti-dumping duty will be imposed on it. Okay, now we will see the topic of countervailing duty. What is countervailing duty? So the reason behind price low of foreign product may be the subsidy, low tax given by the government of their country. To protect the domestic interest, the government will apply a duty called CVD, countervailing duty. See, what is countervailing duty? Now you know that in anti-dumping duty the foreign product price is getting high, is low as our compared with our domestic price. Okay, what is the reason behind that lower price? So it may be the scenario government of that country is providing subsidy on the resource of that particular product. Like suppose a product that we are importing is a cloth, okay, of Egypt, and government has provided subsidy on cotton production, on agriculture of cotton production. Okay, so what will happen if the government is providing subsidy on it? What will happen? The price of that cloth will automatically reduce. And in our country, let us suppose in our country government is not providing any subsidy for the cotton production, so the whatever the cloth will be manufactured in our country will automatically be higher in the price with compared with the Egypt, where the government is giving subsidy. So the price of that cloth of that Egypt will be lower than the price of the cloth in our country. Don't take it as in a real way, I am just giving you an example. So here subsidy is imposed by the government to lower the price. So what happened, that in this scenario where we know the reason behind the less cost or the price reduction of that of the cheap product, if we know the reason behind this cheap price of that product, then the government will impose countervailing duty. Okay, so the only difference between anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty is that in anti-dumping duty also will be the price of that foreign product is lesser than the domestic market. In the countervailing duty is the same. Okay, the only difference between anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty is that in countervailing duty we know the reason behind the cheap price of that product. We know the reason behind the lesser price of that product with the domestic market, but in anti-dumping duty we don't know the reason why that foreign product is less priced or less costly, is not costly with compared with our domestic product. Okay, this is only the difference. That difference between anti-dumping duty and CVD is that both have the price less than the normal value, but in the CVD the reason behind the less price is known, but such as subsidy or low interest or loan is providing at lesser interest, but in anti-dumping duty reason is not known. So I hope you understand it. Okay, that's why it is a very important topic, that's why I have given a stress on this concept. Okay, so what will the advantage of removing anti-dumping duty on viscose staple fiber? It will make the domestic prices align with the global prices, like it will force our domestic prices to align with our whatever the global prices is there. It will make us to compete. It will make the textile industry internationally competitive, because viscose fiber is priced higher in the country due to the anti-dumping protection. Okay, and it will also make our India self-reliable also. Make in India will also be strong through such initiative. In India, the demand of apparels has increased the growing consumer preference in response to growing the foreign textile brands. Okay, so that's it. This was only this. This was the topic that I've explained. I hope you understand it better. If you have any suggestion, go in the description. I have given the link of the Twitter handle where you can ping me and give your suggestion for if anything required. You can further request me for on-demand videos, okay, and the payment you have to make for these videos, and the payment is only by subscribing my channel. That's it. It is completely free for you. Okay, thank you.